PAX coverage is brought to you by Netflix.
Max here for Rev 3 Games. I'm at PAX 2013, and I'm at the Indie Mega booth at the sort of sub-micro booth for Clay Entertainment. And I'm with James, who is the lead technical designer on INCOGNITA. What is INCOGNITA?
INCOGNITA is a turn-based tactical espionage game. And what that means is it's a game like XCOM, like other games like this. We're trying to capture that awesome turn-based tactical play that people love, but we're trying to go in a different direction with it, taking a more espionage direction, apply some stealth to the game, give the player a lot of options, and kind of open up the turn-based stealth world.
Now, you've mentioned this in interviews. I've been following this pretty closely. You say it's about information gathering versus combat. Explain the difference between the two.
Yeah, so there is combat in the game, right? I mean, the reason you need to gather information is to avoid the combat. So it's like, combat is kind of a last-ditch option. You can shoot the guys, they can shoot you, but your agent's actually quite weak in a shootout unless you have very good combat agents. So it's mostly about gathering information. You want to figure out where the cameras are on the level, where the turrets are on the level, and then use those cameras and turrets to find out where the guards are, see where the guards are patrolling, and then avoid them. Or see where the good stuff is and go there. So it's all about maximizing your efficiency and also playing safely, and then the only way to do that is to get information. So a lot of the gameplay in the game is to get that information so you can play. Once you have the information, you can play it like a puzzle game. Almost. Each section is almost like a puzzle game, but getting the information is really the key to unlocking the depth of the game.
Right, and so by getting information, that can be both like kind of visually figuring out where people are, and also, of course, like hacking. You've got a whole like mainframe level. Tell us about that.
So yeah, there's a whole second level of the game where you actually go out, your view goes out, and it's this whole like wire mainframe level version of the game. And you can hack cameras and you can hack other things. You capture computers to hack these things. And when you get back into the regular view of the game, you can see what those cameras see, or you can turn the turrets on the enemies. So it's kind of a creative way to solve these problems and a creative way to get information. Like you said, there are other ways to get information. You can like peek through doors, you can open doors, you can run around with a stealthy guy and he's harder to catch. You can also hear enemies. So you have all these options toward figuring out the lay of the land. And a lot of the gameplay is about how difficult it is to do that and what barriers are in the way of you getting that information.
And of course, all of this is kind of made a little bit more exciting by the fact that this is all procedurally generated. There's no set of map.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, the whole thing's procedurally generated. We tried to still get the feel of a crafted game, right, in the procedural generation. It's the hardest thing to do. But if we're successful, and we're doing pretty well so far, but we're still iterating on the process. The ideal is to get that really feeling of like, wow, this is really great, and there's some cool elements to this, and it's really deep, but it's also all procedurally generated. So I can replay it, I can do it over and over again.
Now, iterative is a word you use. That is a very good word to bring up. You guys have been, you did this kind of with your previous game, Don't Starve. You're releasing the alpha to the public, and you're actually getting feedback from your fans and your players. How does this come into design?
Yeah, so this is really exciting for us. I mean, we've never released a game in alpha before. I've never personally worked on a project that I've shown to people this early before beyond, the devs on the project. So it's really exciting. It's an alpha version. We're sending it out. We're getting fan feedback, instantly, and the people who want to pre-order and play it. And the way that's going to work is that we're going to feed that feedback into our iterative process. So we at Clay, we have a really clear vision for the game. And we're going to take fan feedback and we're going to filter it through our vision and make something that's really, really exciting and also that people really, really love. That's the idea.
That's awesome. And what's the sort of the breakdown of the time period? When can people get their hands on it, and how can they play it?
Yep. So the game is released in 2014, which is next year, so a while from now. But the alpha is actually coming out in the next month or so, and people will be able to go on our forums or go to our game's website online and pre-order the game and get alpha access. So the alpha of the game is actually a real alpha. It's going to be very rough, but it's also going to give players, an opportunity to give feedback during the development process. And then beta is another couple months out after alpha.
Okay, and then of course there's going to be the full proper game is going to come out for it's PC and what else?
PC is the only platform we have confirmed right now. Everything else we're looking at, nothing's final.
I've heard people say that maybe this would probably look good on an iPad. Would you agree?
I've heard people say that. Of course I can't promise anything.
Okay, well that's cool. So obviously you're gonna take some feedback and iteration. It's not gonna completely overhaul the change of the game though. You don't think?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, we're hoping to get all the positives and leave behind all the negatives. We're hoping to get these players' feedback really early on, and that way we can solve, there's so many problems when you play games that you say, oh, if the developers had just gotten someone in to play the game early on, they would have seen this problem immediately. And that's really the stuff we're trying to get in this alpha. So we're trying to get the stuff where, there are bugs, or they're not just bugs, but also things that players find really frustrating that we as devs don't see because we play the game all the time. So that's the stuff we're trying to catch, that's stuff we're trying to use the player feedback to get, but we still have our own vision for the game.
That's good to hear. It's not a focus group. You're not going to make it too gritty or anything. And where do people go to get involved with the alpha, the beta, and so forth?
Yep, so you can go on our forums. It's forums.clayentertainment.com, or you can go to incognitagame.com and sign up for the newsletter. Both of those would be great places to get information for the game.
That's awesome. It's a breath of fresh air. It's very transparent game development. It's not stealthy in the least. Very tactical though. Great talking, James. Good stuff.
Hey, you've heard of Netflix, right? What? You haven't? Well, dear viewer of our amazing 2013 PAX coverage, Netflix is an online streaming video service that lets members watch unlimited movies and TV episodes on basically any device with a screen and an internet connection, whether it's a PC, Mac, tablet, smartphone, 360, PS3, 3DS, Vita, and so forth. For a free 2-week trial membership, head to netflix.com/rev3games and sign up today. It's a great service and a great way of showing support for our content.